Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Wrath of the Righteous with me, Bring It On. Let's see about hiring a captain. The sorceress nods to you affably, but judging by her eyes, her thoughts are far from happy. I'm glad to see you again. You know a pirate named Kurz. Scoffing in disdain, the sorceress smiles scornfully. Every aeronaut of the Midnight Isles knows that bloodthirsty animal. He's an ignoble and filthy scoundrel, who revels in the depths of his moral failings. Back on Galarian, even the Shackle's pirates are usually at each other's throats, you know, to hunt down degenerates like him, and hang them from the yardarm. Crooks like him don't belong on a ship's deck. The right place for them is behind bars, or with a noose around their necks. I think you can also hire Kurz to take you, because there's a quest indicator on the portal to the flesh markets where he's at. I need to get to Colyphyr. Can you take me there? The sorceress looks at you surprised. Aren't you worried about the curse hanging over me? You want to take me with you on a long and dangerous expedition anyway. You're either very brave or very careless, though it doesn't really matter which. A defiant expression appears on the sorceress's face. We're quite capable of reaching the destination, no matter how long or dangerous the route might be. Starcatcher III never wavers in the face of a challenge. I sincerely hope you've chosen your best companions to go with you, because we won't be able to carry more than 6 people. What about a horse, a dragon, and a triceratops? Also, you should take care with your gear. On a long expedition, you only count on the things you brought with you. Well, lucky for me, I keep all of my belongings in my pockets. For 150,000 gold coins, I can take you to that island in first-class style. I'm going to Colyphyr on a noble mission. Maybe you can offer me a discount. After some hesitation, the sorceress nods. I believe you. You really need to go there on an important noble mission. I can lower the price to 100,000. I can't ask for less, for maintaining the ship and crew is no cheap business. Give her 100,000 gold coins. Get your ship and crew ready. We're heading out right away. Mylara raises her chin and solemnly pronounces, in that case, Starcatcher III and her crew are at your disposal. The ship waits at the mooring pillars. You don't need to bother yourself by visiting that nasty and unpleasant place. After you're done with all your current business in Illusionaira and are ready to head off, just use this portal. It'll drop you right onto the deck of Starcatcher III. So I wonder if I should buff up before we take this portal.
I'll go ahead.
You stand in front of the portal that will lead you to the airship's deck. This vessel will take you to Colyphyr, where you have to fight Baphomet's merciless daughter, Hepsimira. Approach the portal. You have a long and dangerous journey ahead. There'll be no turning back. You'll only be able to rely on yourself and your companions. Before departing on this deadly and dangerous mission, you'd be wise to check your equipment meticulously and complete all unfinished business, because the opportunity to come back here may never appear again. Step into the portal. I think we're ready. The route marked in the map connects Alanithia and Colyphyr with a black line. It is straight and steadfast, just like the commander himself, determined to catch and slay his enemy, Hepsimira, Baphomet's daughter, at all cost. Starcatcher III easily catches the air current and glides forward. Discipline, instilled by the grim sorceress called Mylara, reigns over the ship. Silent and diligent sailors sweep away the tiniest signs of mess on deck with the eagerness of zealous inquisitors. The voyage is only just underway, but the commander and his crew are already facing their first challenge. Having spotted the lone ship, a flock of harpy rises from the coastal rocks. Armed with hooked talons and carnivorous grins, they rush upward, squawking. Very harmonious and enchanting songs fill the air. The gazes of some sailors go blank as they cast away their lines and walk unsteadily toward the ship's broadside to step into the void, where the sweet-voiced songstresses are waiting for them. The commander decides to distract the harpies by throwing a couple of sailors overboard. No. Chase the harpies off with a weapon fire and battle cries. Even for an experienced archer, hitting a nimble harpy in midair is no mean feat, but somehow the crew manages to strike down several with well-aimed shots. The screams of fury drown out the enchanting songs, and the crew drives the winged predators away from the ship. With shrieks of disappointment, they continue circling in the distance for a while, then head off in search of less dangerous prey. Many cultures consider malice and belligerence to be contagious diseases. And the Abyss, one particular place transmits such quarrels in the air, like a noxious miasma. This place is Mara Island, and the ship is flying right over it. Discord-sowing whispers fill the thoughts of every crew member. Sailors suddenly begin casting hostile glances at each other, while muted but merciless brawls break out here and there, with almost zero provocation. Such is the aura of Mara Island, the heart of malice and disorder, a cauldron of the affliction known as strife. Captain Mylara frowns as she observes the discontented mood reigning on the deck. She retires to her cabin. Just a quarter of an hour later, the situation changes drastically. A strange eerie apathy falls over the ship's crew. The sailors look at each other with blank eyes, unable to comprehend why they were ready to lunge it for each other's throats just a few minutes ago. The uncanny apathy fades away right after Mara disappears on the horizon, and only then does Mylara return to the deck, looking wan and exhausted. So I wonder if these change depending on which captain you have. Because when we spoke to her the first time, I think she mentioned she mind controls her crew to keep them in line. So I wonder if we had... Oh, what's his name? It starts with a Z. Zers? The other captain. If, like, the Harpies would have been a different encounter, and then this one we would have had to make a check ourselves. It's interesting. A hurricane of enormous proportions rages toward the ship, threatening to crush the boat like an eggshell. A whirlwind rips a gaping sailor from the tackle and tears him apart in midair. The winds catch the ship and draw it to a deadly dance. The elemental embrace lasts for hours, days, or maybe months. Within the storming blackness and the chaos of crashing, salty waves, mere moments seem like an eternity. It feels as if the wild winds have subdued even time itself, twisting it into a bizarre spiral. The commander can barely make out the dark shape of an island called A-Lear below, offering a chance that the ship might seek refuge there. What dangers might await the vessel on land? Would it be smarter to make a valiant attempt to drive the ship through the raging elements? The commander orders a landing on A-Lear. For potential loot. Flee from the storm that shreds the skies like a hawk ripping into a partridge. The ship descends into the dense undergrowth of A-Lear. Will this decision lead to salvation or damnation? Only time will tell. As a rule, death is associated with cold and desolate places that look entirely unlike the densely forested A-Lear. One should not forget that in the Abyss, alive means dangerous. After a night, a day, and yet another night, the hurricane finally blows itself southwest of A-Lear. The sky is clear, and the mast no longer shudders from the wind's onslaught. Upon emerging from their hiding places, sailors report with unpleasant surprise the whole of the ship is tightly ensnared by vines and tree roots, which seem to have discovered and captured their prey with incredible alacrity. A quick head count reveals that several sailors have gone missing while standing watch on deck. Most probably, they fell prey to the near sentient predatory plants that have made A-Lear notorious. The commander... Is this the island that the other captain told us a story about? Where they thought there was treasure, but then the plants started killing everybody? Because if so, maybe this is where... What's his name? Is it Zers? Whatever. Maybe this is where Zers' experience comes in handy. Where Mylara helps with the aura from the island of Mara. Alright, so the commander spurs on the sailors, ordering them to draw their axes. A fierce battle rages around the ship. On one side, predatory plants unleash volleys of thorns, waves of suffocating pollen, and grasping vines eager to drag anyone not nimble enough into the thicket. On the other side, screaming sailors chop mercilessly at the entangling vines and bark armored branches. The ship is surrounded by a mess of chopped plants, and the sailors eagerly cut the hard roots binding the vessel to the soil. They work skillfully and ruthlessly, and before long, the vessel rises into the air again, carrying away the commander and his depleted crew, drenched in blood and plant sap. The outbreak of an epidemic in the close quarters of an airship is a calamity that can easily turn any vessel into a flying mortuary, grimly cruising on the airstreams. Unsurprisingly, The crew is horrified when they notice the first signs of disease spreading on board. In the morning, many sailors find themselves unable to rise to their feet. The afflicted are racked by a merciless fever, and several of those most weakened by the journey have already stopped breathing. Neither spells nor mundane cures seem to help. The commander throws a wild drinking party to boost morale. Doesn't seem like the best option, but sure. Having tempted the crew with a drinking party, the commander accidentally discovers a miracle cure. In the midst of the spree, the sailors gather all the booze on board and pour it into a huge barrel where it mixes and bubbles. The resulting monstrous cocktail not only produces staggering drunkenness, but also effectively drives out the disease that has been gripping the ship. Many mages and alchemists would love to study the disinfecting properties of this elixir, but unfortunately, by the next morning, the barrel has been drained dry. So, grog was the cure all along. Every aeronaut dreams of distant voyages, gazing upon wonders, and collecting a bounty after arriving at the destined port. But no one ever dreams of fighting harpies, monstrous storms, carnivorous plants, or invisible but deadly diseases. The crew is tired, rancorous, and craving an opportunity to unleash their anger. Brandishing their cleavers, they surround the commander. Not all of them, of course, but enough to pose a genuine threat. The commander draws his weapon and graphically describes what kind of retribution the mutineers will face. I thought about doing diplomacy, again because we have that aristocratic background. I think Intimidate is a good middle ground between that and worshipping Gorham. Well, let's do that. The commander's harsh words send a chill creeping down the spine of every mutineer, and their eyes dart about frantically, as if they hear death itself sharpening its claws. Terrified, the mutineers scatter around the ship, leaving all thoughts of revolt behind. Colyphyr is in sight. However, this is not the end of the expedition, not for the commander. After all, journeys end in a safe port, where the fortunate survivors may heal their wounds, quench your thirst, and drink away their loot. Colyphyr promises nothing of the sort. It is all grim rocks, gloomy caves, and the horrible creatures lurking within. One such creature notices the ship and takes flight. The beast is an umbral dragon, its scarlet eyes sparkling rapaciously, its jaws opening hungrily. The airship seems a convenient snack for this monster. The commander so it has to be the commander specifically. I can't use my other... No! Alright, orders the crew to prepare for a fight. What happens on the deck after that cannot be called a fight. It is a massacre. The sailors' weapons bounce off the dragon's scales, but its sickle-shaped claws slice through their bodies with ease. The beast tosses the bleeding and screaming chunks of meat into the air, swallowing them with a disgusting purr of satisfaction. Finally, the monster sates its hunger and leaves the battered ship alone. Sounds of battle carried all over Colyphyr, luring anyone curious that visitors have arrived on the island. Finally, the ship touches the ground. The commander sets foot in the rocky soil of Colyphyr, Ebsamira's lair. Not really her lair, is it? It's just where she's mining for crystals. I do like the book events like that. I think they really ramped them up from Kingmaker. Alright.
Ready for anything?
Why is this on by default? I haven't done anything. I haven't changed my settings at all. It keeps defaulting to turn-based. We've arrived. As promised, Sarketa III has carried you safely to your destination. I pronounce this expedition complete. Leave you of your position as captain, and wish you good luck on your mission. What are you going to do now? I give the crew a few minutes to stretch their legs before we depart from Colyphyr. The local atmosphere doesn't strike me as particularly hospitable, and that scaly monster that almost ate us may not be the only one around. I could use some help with my mission. The sorceress frowns. I try to avoid taking the lives of others, unless I absolutely must. I do everything I can to avoid the kinds of situations where violence becomes unavoidable. I apologize. That's why I won't be following you, Or I'll be letting anyone from my crew join you. Well, thank you for your service. Fair winds to you. Alara gives you a swift nod and bids you farewell. I'm sincerely happy that my cruel fate hasn't claimed your life, as it has with so many others. You must be special. Alright, so we need to buff up before we proceed further into the caves.
I know what to do.
Oh, where's it at? Oh, this is new too. It wasn't listed in my spellbook last time. Elusive Nature. Zada can grant one companion immunity to prone condition and immunity to combat maneuvers for 1 round per caster level. The affected companion was critically hit. They also affected with the effect of the Blink effect, 1 round per 4 Azada's caster levels. That's a Deadly Beauty. And we could do Freedom of Movement, but I think this will be better here, because we can get... this. This stacks with mounted combat. The movement speed would also be great.
We will win this war.
But if I can prevent Bucephalus from taking any damage, since he is tanking for me, even better.
The goddess protects us.
Okay, looks like my assumption was correct. This is a full-size dungeon. At least that's what it appears. We haven't had a proper dungeon since we've arrived in the Abyss, so we were due for one. Well, that spell actually replaces the butterflies with the bees. Neat. Oh, and flowers. We have flowers all over our main character, too. Alright, hold on. Let's look at him in the inventory menu. Oh, it doesn't show it. It's a shame, because you can zoom in. That was added in a more recent patch, too, I think. The ability to zoom in. Oh, it's actually a unique looking. Maybe it's not unique. Maybe all the +6s look like that. I'm going to assume that it's a unique appearance for this headband specifically. Yeah, we'll go and use this as well. We'll play it safe.
Are we ready to move out?
Oh, that's right, she's polymorphed. Oh no. I wish it would just save it. I don't remember what all she had. She had 2 castings of this. Oh, son of a gun. That's so annoying. Alright, she had a couple castings of grease that we never used. Some enlarged persons. Was it all grease? I don't remember what all she had. There's more color spray? Son of a gun. This is so annoying. So we're gonna miss a few of our buffs here. She had 7 castings of this, I think. So that's what, 5, 6, 7. A couple mirror images. I think she had some crate pits. It's all crate pits, actually. And then here, haste and slow. I think she had 1 casting of blink. I don't think we need that, actually, so I think we'll just do haste. Oh, we had see invisibility communal as well. Let's grab that. I guess 1 casting of blink wouldn't hurt. I think we need at least 1 casting of that. Maybe grab this, because I don't think everyone has constitution bonuses. Most people have strength bonuses of some kind, at least the ones that need it. And not everyone needs strength, like Nenio wouldn't need strength, so I think having more health is the better option. And then I guess we'll grab a couple of these. Here, so we already have invisibility mass. We need a couple of these, and there's a couple of those. That's so upsetting. Alright, well, we should be fine. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I forget. Yeah, she needs this. She needs this, and he needs this. The main character would also benefit from Bark Skin since he doesn't have natural armor. Okay, we should be fine. In fact, I think we have potions of enlarged person, so we can just use one of those.
Tavern. What'll it be, Lan? The bartender asks.
There we go. See? That's what we have potions for. Oh yeah, I need to remember it. Let's put this on his belt because I keep forgetting about it. Tell me what he got with that. Alright, looks like, yeah, armor class and not attack. Oh, that's fine. Alright, let's quick save and move out.
Together we do not fear. The light take you.
We'll just focus on one. Nenio, don't worry about using Phantasmal Killer right now. Just use that.
I'll remove this obstacle.
Oh, he ran away. Elder Earth Elemental, where are you going? Back here. Alright, yeah, let's go after this guy. I should have a main character charge him. Probably would have killed him just right off the bat. What's this guy doing? Get back here. Not exactly how I wanted things to go down here. Just really hoping to take this guy out before he ran all the way over here. Oh, they raised the alarm. Help, I'm in trouble. Oh, who will save me? A great reward awaits the hero who rescues me. You look like Nocticula. Doesn't she?
Follow my lead.
Alright, this dungeon doesn't seem as big as I thought.
No reason to pause.
As it should be.
Folsom Queen.
I am prepared.
I'm always open to ideas.
That's right, she doesn't have haste up. Shoot.
No mistakes.
Rely on
Alright,
me.
let's quick save. We'll have Sela talk to her. The thing in front of you bears a passing resemblance to Nocticula. Even a blind person could not mistake this creature for the Lady in Shadow. The demon's body is an oozing pile of filth and excrement, and it exudes a stench that would make the latrines of a poorhouse in Alushanira smell like a flower shop in comparison. Moreover, this creature sounds nothing like Nocticula. The demon's voice is thick like congealed porridge. The words slur and slurp together as they're being stirred with a spoon. Greetings, hero. What are you? The slurping, sloshing sound of the creature's gleeful laughter makes your stomach grow queasy. Your body swells up in smug satisfaction. Mortal, you must think that it is Nocticula who stands before you. But I've deceived you. I am not her at all, though I am just as beautiful and powerful. Powerful. The demon clearly has trouble pronouncing this last word, but she gives it her best attempt. I am the Folsom Queen, the true mistress of this island. I rule all of its caves, caverns, vile cesspools, quicksand pits, as well as its poisoned springs, and plague graves, and everything. Yes, everything here is mine. I am. She pauses, her eyes darting around for inspiration. The Lady of Filth. The demon clearly invented this honorific on the spot, but she seems quite pleased with her new title. I can smell your powerfulness from here. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this. You're a foul, disgusting creature. Folsom Queen gurgles resentfully, her body bubbling up like a pot boiling over. How rude. Don't you dare talk to me like that. What an amazing creature. Just look at the way she mimics the appearance of others through metamorphosis. She has the ability to transmute herself. I can say with confidence that we're looking at a one-of-a-kind specimen. The Folsom Queen gurgles in confusion. She likes me, doesn't she? You're a delightful specimen, a fecal demon worthy of a special place in a museum. Of course, the special place will have to be disinfected on a continual basis, but I'm sure the revenue brought in by the crowds of eager tourists want to see you, or who want to see you, will be more than enough to cover the cleaning costs. Since this is your island, you know what Hepsimira is doing here. The demon smiles flirtatiously. She tries to make her voice sound soft and seductive, but without much success. I know everything, all the secrets. But first you must serve me, then I'll lavish you with my favors. Why do you look like Nocticula? The demon lowers her eyes flirtatiously. She giggles, pleased with herself. It can take on any form, and Nocticula is the most beautiful and perfect creature in all the worlds. That is why I want to be like Nocticula. Why did you summon me here? The demon grows petulant, her voice whining like a spoiled princess. I need a knight. I'm the Folsom Queen. I must have knights who will repay my enemies for wronging me. I've been hurt by everyone. This is my island. They've made me an outcast. They kicked me out of the big wet cave, and they don't respect me at all. Especially that overgrown lizard, that black dragon. She chased me away, mocked me, and then tried to eat me. Dragons are nasty. Be a good knight and kill the dragon. Well, there are nasty dragons in the world, of course, but this stinky thing has no room to talk. An umbral dragon. I've encountered this beast before. The demon's quarrelsome voice sounds like a bubbling swamp full of poisonous gas. Did she hurt you too? She's hurt me many times. I'm strong, but she has wings, and it hurts when she spits. Let's kill her. You kill her in my honor. Was she really trying to eat you? I find that hard to believe. Folsom Queen sniffs tearfully and says in a whiny, petulant voice, yes, no one has ever been that impertinent. No one has ever tried to eat me before, ever. And that nasty dragon, she bragged about eating everything, even dead souls. She giggled and said she'd never had anything like me before. And I chased her away, but she'll be back. I didn't like being chewed. It was so disgusting. She chewed you? Ew. I didn't want to think about that. Why should I kill your enemies? The creature tries to look seductive, and merely succeeds in striking an awkward pose. There's a purr in her voice as she gurgles. Because I asked you to. Isn't that enough of a reason? And where do I find this dragon? The evil lizard lives nearby, in a big cave with a hole at the top. Rain falls into the hole. It's a good cave, dark and wet, and it used to be very quiet. But then the fat lizard came and kicked me out of there, because she couldn't fit it in the other caves. Why does she need such a good cave? She's always out hunting. She flies over the island all the time. And the cave just stands there empty. If the dragon is always out hunting, how am I supposed to catch her in the cave? The Folsom Queen stares at you for a long time, dumbfounded silence. Finally, the air of someone imparting great wisdom, she says smugly. If the dragon isn't in her lair, you'll have to summon her. Dragons love their treasure. Everyone knows that. If you touch the treasure, the dragon will hurry back in the blink of an eye to protect her property. But the things scattered around the cave, the bright stick with the bird on top, the sparkly dress, the round coins, even the pretty little crown. The demon's voice grows wistful, and there's a faraway look in her eyes. They're all just silly rocks that have been wrapped in illusions, and the real treasure looks like boring rocks. Look closely, you'll see that I'm right. I know this, because I snuck in there and wanted to steal, because my gaze pierced through the silly spell. Yeah, it's time to make the abyss a little less filthy. Well, see, she doesn't want to fight. Maybe I can attack her later. I can do this quest for her and then come back and fight her. Or she'll attack me, either way. Well, very well. I'll deal with this monster. The demon's voice is soft and flirtatious. I see that you are brave. Kill the monster. I will reward you terribly generously. Yeah, that makes it sound like she's going to attack us. Alright, I have to go. The Folsom Queen tries to look regal and impressive, but without much success. She dismisses you with an awkward wave of her hand, disturbing the swarms of flies that hover around her loathsome form. They scatter in all directions, with a low buzzing sound. So I'm not sure. Hopefully we can still fight her. I plan on killing her at some point. I'm hoping she betrays us to make it easier for me to roleplay killing her. I've spared demons in the past because they didn't want to put up a fight, and my character doesn't see the glory in fighting an enemy that doesn't want to fight. Alright, so I think I'm going to call the episode here, and the next one will continue through this, what is it called? Colyphyr Mines. It doesn't seem very big. I'm assuming there's going to be a way to descend further into them.
Time's not waiting.
Or it's just going to be a boss gauntlet. We fight the dragon, the Folsom Queen, and Hepsamira, and that's it. But we'll see. For now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys.
Focus on the goal.
Fix yourself. Alright, that's fine. Alright, gonna call it here. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.